How to deal with tough times. Nobody's life is without its share of problems, but in general, we humans are resilient and adapt well to new situations. Mindfulness gives us another life strategy. By embracing distress rather than fighting back, we give ourselves the best chance to ride its turbulence and keep our lives on track. Left to its own devices, the mind tends to run away from difficulties and towards desire. But some problems are so big and oppressive that we find ourselves unable to move beyond their shadow. In the long term, we're being kind to ourselves when we choose to face our difficulties rather than try to avoid them. Putting a spin on feeling miserable is a way of fighting against the reality, and all inner fights are tiring and ultimately unsuccessful. The best way to escape a trap is to study how it works and then dismantle it part by part. You can't be trapped in a mechanism that's been taken to pieces. When you're having a tough time, your difficulties operate on two levels. First, there's the primary problem, which might be an illness, a loss, or a serious misfortune or disappointment. This is the reality you need to face and make peace with, since it's factual and can be reversed. The secondary problem is the mind's suffering. This is based entirely on our response to the primary problem. It often starts with a judgment. This shouldn't be happening, which in turn leads to an emotion such as anger, fear, frustration, or hopelessness. The emotion can't be controlled or wished away, but its invitation to suffering can be resisted by an attitude of mindfulness. Some pain in life is inevitable, but suffering is a choice we make based on our rejection of the pain and an acceptance of the distress it brings. The truth of this can be seen when you mindfully explore physical pain. Try this next time you have a headache or backache or any other painful symptom. Attending to what you're feeling, you'll discover the simple sensation, pain itself, and alongside that, your own resistance to that sensation. The resistance is partly physical, a group of muscles in tension around the pain source. If you can relax those muscles one by one, you will feel the discomfort lessening. Just as you tense your muscles in response to pain, you might also tense your mind. It's possible to relax this tautness too by a movement of the mind. And this is the moment when you release your suffering. Instead of holding yourself apart from the pain, you move towards it with compassion and gentleness, experiencing it as pure sensation, letting go of the thought of how unhappy it's making you. Any distress in life can be approached in a similar way. This doesn't mean refusing yourself permission to have emotions or letting your tears flow. It only means not giving distress permission to take up permanent residence in your being, stealing the keys to all your choices. Often the thing that threatens your well-being will be what you think rather than an actual sensation. It might be thinking about what has happened or what will happen. Staying within the present pushes thoughts like this into the background, where they lose their power to do harm. An effective way to deal with pain, whether physical or emotional, is to stay in the present moment as much as possible, and from that viewpoint break it down into individual sensations which change over time. Lean into the pain rather than trying to resist it. You'll probably find your pain levels diminish if you can manage this. Notice your suffering and direct compassion to your pain. This will override your anger or impatience. Look beyond the pain, broadening the scope of your attention to seek out positive sensations, such as your partner's touch or the scent of flowers. Let your pain be just one object of your awareness. Take practical steps to diminish the pain if possible. In other words, work on the problem as well as on the symptom. Our ability to grow and change and live as our true selves, moment by moment, even through times of distress, is invincible if we choose it to be so.